bummer because you didn't have Kawhi. You didn't have Paul George. The Bucks hold him off 124-117. Damian Lillard, 16 of his 34 points came in the fourth quarter. He had 11 assists. I'm having a Chandler morning. Giannis and Dame, only second teammates since 1980 to record at least 30 points and 10 assists in a game. We waited. We didn't know if this would work. Seems to be working, Chandler. Does this two-man situation settled now in Milwaukee?
I mean, yeah, these are two elite offensive players. They have the new coach now. They seem to be making somewhat adjustments where they go to a zone, they switch, they go small, they go big. So I will credit Doc for kind of trying different things. But yeah, when you look at these guys, we said it when the trade happened. On paper, this makes perfect sense. You got one of the most physical downhill players in Giannis that can kind of get to the rim whenever he wants, get out in transition, and you pair that with one of the best elite shooters in the league that can provide him with even more spacing. It sounded good, and now it took a little while to figure it out. It took a little bit time for the other guys to know their role, but yeah, the same thing like the Lakers, they're clicking. This team is clicking right now, and they're looking to be dangerous. I think they're going to snag that 2 seed in the East and kind of jump Cleveland here soon. I think they're tied with them now. But this team is offensively, they have so much power. They have other guys too, where they have, the Lopez's, the Connaughtons. These guys can also throw in, 5 threes. So this team is dangerous, and it's going to come down to them in Boston. It's going to be a hell of a series, but it's definitely, you're seeing it starting to work. Guys knowing their role, guys knowing their spacing. They're running a bunch of different sets now, and they look really comfortable.
Yeah, Lou, I'm wondering if when you watch them play now, obviously compared to the beginning, it looks different. Is there anything that they still have yet to master, or are they in a really good place where we are in the season?
Yeah, they're going to have to adjust again when Chris Middleton's in the lineup. Obviously that's somebody who's going to give them 20-plus points a game that you're going to have to work in. Other than that, I like the fact that Doc has figured it out. He's put these two guys in actions together. He's put a lot of pressure on defense. It's putting them in a two-man game where you got to really pick your poison. Whether Dame is going to come off and shoot. Giannis is a roll threat. Giannis is also a post-up threat. Obviously, Dame is a drive threat. So putting them in actions, putting a lot of pressure on the defense, it's worked for them. And I think this is something that they found to be successful, opposed to them coming down on offense. Dame have an opportunity to do his thing. It doesn't work. Now it's a swing. Now it's Giannis' opportunity to do his thing. And if it doesn't work, now they're playing scramble basketball. Instead, they're picking teams apart in a two-man game. This worked against the Clippers, so I think this is a great sample size. The only thing they're going to have to figure out is what are they going to do when it comes to that three-man game. Chris Middleton is going to be a huge part of that. But so far, for those two guys to figure it out together and play off of each other's energy, to read and react on the offensive end, it worked well for them last night. This is great.
I mean, you heard Chandler talk about how he thinks they're going to grab that set. They're in the second spot right now, but it's a half game, so it's a flip-flop for a while here. But they got 17 games left. Do you think the Bucks, when it's said and done, regular season ends, are they sitting in that 2 spot, or does Cleveland come back?
Yeah, but it's in the air. It's in the air, and listen, they've been projected to be a better team than Cleveland since this trade has happened. And even before that trade, we had high expectations for the Milwaukee Bucks. So if they do snag that spot, no surprise there. I think that's what's expected. That's what they should have had this entire year. Obviously with the coaching change, they hit a little turbulence there, but they figured it out. They've got everything right. It's smooth sailing right now, and that team is rolling. So I really think they should and they will finish with that second seed.
Shams, internally, feels like a night and day from where we were just a few weeks ago with this Bucks team. How are they feeling there in-house about where they are?
Confident for sure, and actually we do need to give Doc Rivers a lot of credit, because what he's brought to this team is, I think, structure, and down the stretch of games, you're seeing the ball in Damian Lillard's hands, and that was something that was a focal point, something that they just were not able to do under Adrian Griffin, is really manage the game and figure out exactly where you want the ball to go. And Damian Lillard, the game is best for the Bucks when down the stretch of games, it's in his hands. And you have to give Doc Rivers a lot of credit. This team has completely flipped the script defensively. That was the major issue on this team all year. But they're now hovering around 10th in terms of defensive rating in the whole league. They were 18th before Doc Rivers came in. They're giving up a ton of points in the paint, 24th in the league. Now they're about 7th in the league in points in the paint. So this is a team that's completely turned it around. defensively, and you have to give Doc Rivers a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, there were a lot of us making a lot of noise. It's going to be interesting where they end up. Chandler, this one goes to you first because it deals with daylight savings, and I feel like you're now our expert on that. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard set out yesterday's game because it was noon Pacific, and they played on Saturday at 1. So it was 22 hours in between games, and Ty Lue said that was extreme, very extreme. Does he have a point?
Yeah, has this ever happened before where a game's
Kinda
within
weird.
24 hours? That is, he definitely has a point. And this goes against the whole load management thing where he gets an excused absence here by not playing these guys. Cause that is, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen this before where the daylight savings.
It doesn't happen?
It's confusing. It's definitely confusing, Michelle. This is all news to me, the daylight savings situation. But yeah, I think he's got a point here. With given their state of their career, where they are, how good they've been this year, everyone now in this position is looking for the playoffs. So, and when you have a situation like this where they played the day before, and then they kind of go fast forward to this, and it makes sense. I would have done the same thing if I was him. To me, I would have loved if James Harden would have really been aggressive last night, kind of showed that he can still go and carry a team and carry a team to a win and dominate. He was almost a little passive last night. But yeah, to me, I think this is the right call. You can't play a guy twice within 24 hours. That's insane.
Lou,
What about everybody
that's never
else?
happened? It's not a night
but everyone
game.
else isn't Paul George and Kawhi Leonard with multiple injuries and surgeries in their career.
Yeah, but I think I've had this.
A night game.
Because when you play for the Clippers or you play for the Lakers, a lot of time you have same day games. So one team is going to play the noon game, one team is going to play the 7 p.m. game. And so I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've played in a game or two in 22 hours where we've played the noon game, and then the next day we play an early game as well, and it's like a 22-hour window or something like that. But I mean, what's the difference? I don't know what's the difference. You know, extreme to me is 4 and 5 days and traveling across the country and things like that. Those 2 hours are, a hit or miss, but everybody has the right to coach their team and do what they see fit. So I thought this was interesting.
I'm sure the television network.
The word extreme's a little much. At the end of the day, it's 2 basketball games. Like, it's not extreme. Like,
yeah, I'm reacting. I'm reacting to the word extreme. That's what I'm reacting to. But
same.
Hey,
that felt weird.
They found a loophole to get a guy some rest. So
they did. I bet you nobody will say anything about load management this game though, because they definitely found a loophole in this 24-hour rule.
They're like, we're not touching that one.
Sure.